My voice input is also recording in my lavalier. We're going to clap and we are going to go into what is human augmentation? Ladies and gentlemen, that's a big question. Now, my word here is going to be based on this article by Muriel de Boeck and Christoph Walls. They wrote this article last year, that's 2024, which is very recent academical product. Now you cannot say anymore or even think about it that Konstantin, that's a very old information. We have present information and that's a good thing. Now, the purpose of this video is to understand what is human augmentation and how that fits into the field of assistive tools and human enhancement. That's kind of the very first arc. My notes are all upside down here. That's like the first thing to understand. So de Boeck and Walls, their mission was to design tools, design practices, design strategies for designers and engineers by establishing the terminology of where human augmentation fits into the broader field of human enhancement. Now, I'm already starting to be confused, and if you are too, let's do it together and hold hands and go through this together. And by the end of the video, I really believe that you and we are going to be slightly smarter. Now, when we are talking about making a better human or becoming back to being a normal human from disabilities, there are three distinctive categories for this. There are assistive technologies, human augmentation, and then there is human enhancement. They kind of are embedded into each other. So assistive technology is embedded in human augmentation. Human augmentation is embedded in human enhancement. And then I guess human enhancement is embedded in a very broad philosophical meanings of enlightenment of humanity. There we are not going to go today. So that's it. Let's talk about what is assistive technology. Its goal is to restore and replace a broken thing. It is just a tool that we use to bring us back to normal. For example, eyeglasses. Or if I'm missing a leg, I would be using a prosthetics or a wheelchair. With that tool, and that's just a tool, I will discard. I will stop using the tool when I don't need it. With that tool, I'm more normal, more like an able-bodied human being. Hearing aids is also a nice example there. If I do not hear, I would use a cochlear implants or some hearing aid devices. Now, the biggest difference between assistive technology and human augmentation is that the purpose of human augmentation is to go further of being normal human beings. So human augmentation is to be human, like slightly better than normal human. And also important aspect of human augmentation is that human augmentation is just about technologies. Only technologies, no medical stuff, no drugs, just physical technology, which will become part of your body, like an extension of your body. So you have and also human augmentation is not just for disabled people, it is also for able people. So able people start using a tool that becomes part of their body. Also, it will affect a little bit of their identity, but human augmentation's goal is to not to change that identity, but rather just strengthen it a little bit. There is four categories of how human augmentation, or like in which particular fields human augmentation is doing its implementation. And that's physicality, sensory, cognition, and social. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those slightly later. Examples of human augmentation, like I said, it's about technology. So that would be exoskeletons, brain-computer interfaces, AR glasses, bionic contact lenses, any technological tool that, again, like I said, make you slightly better than what will you be normally, just, naked you. And by saying actually naked, even your clothes are one of your augmentation now tools, because they help you stay warm. Now, we go to the human enhancement, in which assistive technology and human augmentation are embedded in. So human enhancement is everything that we just understood. So human enhancement is human augmentation plus medical knowledge and also physical transmodifications. Okay, physical transmodification. So that would be all the tools in the augmentation plus drugs that affect your mental stability or boost your physicality. For example, drugs that make you faster or more endurance or stay up more awake, caffeine or steroids or any stimulants that make you feel more like you want to party. Let's not name any of those to make this, to keep this video friendly for all audience. Now, the human enhancement differs from human augmentation the way that it starts to touch this transhumanism subject, and that's something that we want to become not just better, but we want to become something different. So when we start to heavily enhance ourselves, we are overstepping the boundaries of which categorize what is a human being. And then we will become something else, something different than human. We are still a little bit of human, but then we are going to go like more and more, for example, into the world of being a cyborg or human-machine combination. So examples would be, like I said, chemical substance, organ transplants, genetic mutations, plastic surgery. So we are doing that quite a lot. Breasts, muscle surgeries. There is also neuroscience, so a way for us to change how our brains is operating. And lastly, laser eye surgery. So something to change inside our eyes for us to see better. That's a human enhancement. I feel when I talk about these things that human augmentation is actually more fresh field of making better humans. I mean, we had assistive technology, prosthetics, wheelchairs, and then we already jumped into a human enhancement by having drugs, having plastic surgeries, inner body part transformations, laser eyes, and now with this is actually essential part of what the Boeck and Vaes mentioned in the article, that physical gear technology is lacking, like dragging behind. So we have software that can already do good augmentation, but the physical gear is not right there. For example, brain-computer interfaces, we can already create the software, but we do not have proper technology to properly read our brain, and so that brain-computer interfaces could be actually practically usable devices. Okay, so a short summary: assistive technology is embedded. Assistive technology purpose, the goal is to bring back human to a normal level, and assistive technology is embedded in human augmentation. Augmentation's goal is to bring normal human to a little bit better human level. Then assistive augmentation is embedded in human enhancement level, and human enhancement's level is to be better than normal, but also start to approach that limit of being already something different than human being. Let's get back to human augmentation's 4 base categories. The way human augmentation is touching the change, the transmodifications of human. So it's physicality, sensory, cognitive, and social aspect. In physicality, we would use exoskeletons to make ourselves stronger, faster, more enduring heavy weights. For example, in Ford car building factory, workers are underneath the car and their arms are often upright in position. So exoskeleton or arm skeleton, shoulder exoskeleton would give them more endurance to keep the heavy weights and drills upright. Or, for example, firefighters can wear exoskeletons and more easily drag their bodies from the danger or carry another person on their shoulders more easily. And then we go to the sensories. So sensories are about our 5 senses, which is touching, hearing, seeing, smelling, and taste. Any technology that boosts that or helps us be safe is touching this broader category. For example, if we are working in biohazard factory or in the area, we could use a machine that would sense the particles, normally which we would not smell. The machine would sense the particles in the air, the toxic particles that are floating, and then warn us. Or, for example, we could see ultraviolet waves with AR glasses, that in this area there is too much ultraviolet waves coming, that we should be staying away. Then the third category is cognitive, which helps us understand what is going on in for example in our body. Smartwatches is a nice example. We simply don't oft like always understand how our body is operating. And with the sensories that the smartwatches have, they can provide us the heart rate, the way we slept last night, or for example, that we need a little bit more rest. Then the fourth and the final category of human augmentation is social aspect, which is working to make us more empathical persons, more better communicators, and more a better collaborator. So that's the part of fourth social category. And in that sense, we could use tools like smart glasses, for example, which would help us remember things, remember who we met. If, for example, you and me, we met 1 year ago, and that information would have been saved into a smart glass system, we would then that smart glass can then remind us and provide us with the information of what we talked about. Also, it can provide us information about our current state, and by that mean the smart glass, if I would have a smart glass and I would be in front of you, those smart glasses would read your posture, and they would help me understand in what kind of a mental state you are. This is a rather important and interesting tool for police. So police can understand what kind of people they are dealing with. Is this person hostile or friendly? Now, that's it. A short word about study results, what the Boeck and Vaes actually created here. Their mission was, they had 4 research questions that they wanted to touch upon. And the first one was what is human augmentation? I really hope that right now you are already starting to understand where human augmentation fits between assistive technology and human enhancement. So that's also was the Boeck and Vaes goal. Then there was the second goal is how to classify this human augmentation as a field, as a design field, how it's going to fit into the 4 categories of augmenting the humans. So that would be, like I said previously, physicality, sensories, cognition, and social. Then they created a visual framework for designers to understand better. Designers, they use visuality when they are designing. So that's why they created this visual framework. And lastly, they worked with 123 students from 2020 to 2023, and they created 23 design strategies for those students and also for us to use when we would be designing something for human augmentation. And I think that this last thing is going to be the most important of their work, and that's to help us understand what problems human augmentation brings, how those problems can be creatively solved. And that's the part of designing something. You need to be creative and you need to be a problem solver. So that is what Mr. de Boeck and Mr. Vaes created. They helped us be more creative when designing for human augmentation. Thank you for watching this video. Now you understand what is human augmentation. If you don't, leave a message and I will do another video at some point. My name is Konstantin Nikkari. You are watching Human You're watching Human Enhancement with Konstantin Nikkari. See you later.